All right, good day, guys. Good day. So make sure you guys, if you haven't obtained our day trading mastery course for 2025, do get in touch. It's in video format and I'll share it with you. So I wanted to sit with you during my morning session today, trading German 40. Then I'm just going to show you some of the things I look at. So I slightly came a few minutes too late. You can see I was busy recording one of the lessons for our 2025 day trading master bootcamp. So I sort of came a few minutes late here. So the first thing you want to look at is where is your price expanding to? So maybe just want to check on the daily. Okay, let's remove this. So what's happening from the daily? From the daily, we've been bullish, as you can see, from Monday, last week, the 3rd of Feb. Nice bounces off the 13 EMA, so the week was bullish. Coming into day, right, two things can happen. We are still trading within the range of Friday. This is Friday's range, right? Friday the 7th. So what you want to do is you want to mark the high of Friday, you want to mark the low of Friday. Those are just points of interest which we can potentially use in the future or where price can potentially retrace from. So just to mark those areas, we don't want to have so many lines here, but let me just mark it like this. So that's the high of Friday. Sorry, that's the low of Friday, and this is the high of Friday, right? So as soon as we've marked, so this simply means we do not have a clear bias. Price can potentially push up towards Friday's high, or we can potentially push low towards Friday's lows. So we'll skip H4 because there's really no story to use there. We come to H1. So the reason I'm saying I was late is because the current H1 candle, which closed at 9, going into 10, I was supposed to actually enter at the low here because we had a 13 EMA close and price was closed and we had a slight retracement here. So that this simply means that on M15, price was already showing the buys before the London open. So the 10 a.m. open candle is the current candle forming right now. And this buy started like what 30 minutes before the London open with this pin bar here. So that was a bit of a miss into this move. Going to the 3 minute now, you will notice that from 9:30 which was somewhere here. That's where this buy actually started. So we could have taken it here. Coming into the London open, the buy was already in motion. So right now we're looking for price to trade potentially towards Friday's high, right? So we are looking for an entry. This was the London open candle. We've marked the high, we've marked the low. The only thing I want for my entry or for a better entry rather is for price to interact with a 13 EMA with a pin bar, a doji, a bullish engulfing, or an inside bar. Here we already have a pin bar forming, but the fact that it has not interacted with the 13 EMA makes me skeptical because price sometimes might move sideways. And also looking at M15, M15 is a bit far from the 13 EMA now. So what I would love to see is a bit of a retracement, potentially on M5 or M3, maybe get an interaction with the 13 EMA here for me to actually take a buy. So you can do two things. You can either wait for price on the 15 minute to interact with the 13, then we look for an entry on the 3 minute, or you can wait for price on the 3 minute to do the same thing. Because if we've got momentum right now, we might not touch the 13 EMA on M15, but we'll definitely touch the 13 EMA on M3. So we've got our opening price range, which is these two black lines here. So the only thing we can do right now is wait. Are we going to get a pullback, or is this the actual pin bar they just want to respect for a 1 to 3? So for me, I'm not using this pin bar, but let's just see based on this particular mapping if price is actually going to just use this particular pin bar and push up, or it's going to do what we are waiting for. We're waiting for price to retrace into the 13, either on the 3 minute or on the 15 minute for us to actually enter. So this is a 1:3 setup here. The risk for this particular trade would be about 20 points to make about 60 points. So let me just get the exact value here. The risk could be about, yeah, almost 18 points to make about 55. Yeah, that would be the perfect 1:3 trade. But I'm not entering this particular trade. I'm personally waiting to see if we can get a bounce off the 13 EMA here, or a bounce of the 13 EMA on M15 for me to actually take a buy. Otherwise, if this price decides, for example, to come back below our opening candle range, then price might actually then push down towards Friday's lows. That means this whole setup will change. But a lot of things will show us that the setup is actually changing. For example, price will come back below the 13. Even M15 will give us a close below the 13 and it will start to expand to the bottom side. But as of now, our time frames are still on the buying side, or the bias is still slightly bullish. Even though we're still in trading in Friday's range, we're still bullish. So let's see what happens. I'm just going to sit with you guys so that you can see my whole trading process, and my thought process mainly, because it's the one which counts usually when we're trading. So it's my thought process. We also have this little imbalance within the opening range, which is also a point of interest for me, just to help me understand whether we're staying bullish, or if we come below, we might get bearish. So that's there to just help us. So let's see. I've got 2 points of interest, which is the high of the morning open candle, the London session open candle, the high, which is in line with the 13 EMA, and I've got that imbalance inside that opening London open session candle range, this level. So these are my 2 points of interest which I have. So let's see what will happen here. It would have been nice to enter this just before London open, because if we had done that, then we could have just caught our 1 to 3 might actually have been complete. But that session I was in recording the lesson kind of took my attention. So you see the 1:3 would have paid out just as the London session opened as well. And the reason is M15 has already gave us a doji in line with an H1 bias which we have. You see this doji pin bar which we have, that was the entry criteria for this particular trade. But let's see if they're going to give us a second entry for this particular trade. Let's see. So the only thing we can do now is wait. So from current market price to yesterday's high, we've got about 80 points. So on this trade, I'll just be happy if we can catch maybe 50 points, depending with whether price actually wants to go up or not. So let's just patiently wait, see if we can get a retracement. Right. So, and again, one thing about German theater, usually when it's trending, once it picks a direction, it just goes. So let's see what happens. Are they going to give us a chance to enter into this trade, or they're just going to get to the TP area without retracing? So let's wait and see. I would love to get a retracement though and a continuation. Um, okay, so you can see this is our course. Quickly show you guys. This is our day trading course. Forex indices gold. This was a lesson on part of trading strategies, the open price plus H1 13 EMA entries of Forex indices in gold. One of the lessons we did in the morning. So if you guys haven't yet um, purchased this course, please get in touch. I'll just show you some of the things which are in the course. You can see these are a lot of other things which are in the course. It's literally packed with day trading nuggets and knowledge. So from your introduction, your core concepts, your strategies, risk management, psychology, practical application, advanced topics, developing a trading plan. Then the post bootcamp support, this will just be the one-on-one which follows after you finish this course. Then we've got a bonus whereby we speak on fundamentals. Then we just have like daily results to show you some of the results we've made within our trading. They come with examples and proper analysis, and most of them also have their own um, full trade recaps, which was also done like on YouTube. But otherwise, this is the whole course here. So you guys should actually make time, get in touch, go through this course, and this is only for people, of course, who are not profitable, people who are not consistent, people who are still learning. So you can just like go through this course as well. So let's see here. So you can see doing that course actually distracted me from actually catching this initial sell. But anyways, let's just wait and see if we can get an entry here. Our points of interest are marked. It will just be a pity if this runs all the way to the target, because the target will be Friday's high here. But let's wait. Let's give it time. Would love to get a retracement on M15. If we are lucky, we'll get that retracement. The only thing with the waiting part is sometimes I have to be silent, like we're just watching price, so it might get boring. When you hear people say trading is boring, that's the boring part, waiting for price to get into your points of interest. That's the tough parts. That's the boring part. Many people cannot wait like this. People just wanna like you see prices here, you feel like you're missing and you click your buy. But you need to understand that if you open your buy here, where does your stop loss go? Your stop loss literally has to come outside the last entry candle, which would have been this one, and your target is here. So this will actually be hustling backwards because your point of entry is not as perfect. You are exposing your capital to so much risk. You can see this is not even, it's okay. It's almost a 1:1 trade, but it's really not worth it. I'd rather wait to get a retracement. Then let's say we get a retracement into the 13 somewhere here. We get an entry candle like a doji, for example. Let's just put a little doji here, or maybe we get like a pin bar, right? So as soon as I get this pin bar and I've got my bias, then my entry would be, let me actually draw that pin bar again. Then my entry would be something like this. So let's say on this 13 EMA, price retraces and gives us like a pin bar, right? This simply means my setup will come at the close, stop loss below. My TP is still the same, but you can now see my risk to reward is 1:3. That's the thing I'm trying to explain. So it's always good to wait for your entry candles, get a doji, get a pin bar. Your stop loss simply has to go below that candle. And your TP, you just map out 1:3. So like I said, if you had entered just pre-London session open, then this trade would have been a good trade. But now because the price is moved, we simply have to actually wait for a better entry so that we don't expose our capital to unnecessary risk. So you can either wait for it on M3. If there's a lot of momentum on M15, the retest will happen on M3. But if there's a lot of momentum overall, then we won't really get an entry. This will be what we call a missed trade, a missed setup. Again, if you notice, price was simply taking off from all the EMAs. We got the 800, we got the 50, we got the 13, we got the 200. And we simply had a breakout, which was a market structure shift before London session open, breaking out of these highs. Then we had price retracing into the 13, a push up, another retracement with a bullish engulfing. All this happened pre-London, so we had two chances to actually jump in. For those who are paying attention, I hope you actually jumped into this trade. And again, price from this low here, market structure shift, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. But this higher low has no clean higher high. We could have entered here if this candle here had formed right on the 13, we could have actually have entered this trade right here. But if you see now, we've got a lot of momentum in such a way that we don't have a clean higher low and a continued higher high. So these are some of the market conditions which you are going to see day to day. Remember, each day presents its own different market conditions. So you simply need to understand what's going on, coming from the higher time frame, going all the way to your entry time frame. So let's see if we're still going to get that retracement and the entry as well. All right, so price is approaching our 13 EMA. If you notice, we also do have this order block here right there. So for now, it's a point of interest. We're just going to mark it, then see if it's in line with anything from our higher time frame. So we're going to go to M15. All right, with this price action, M15, I would really honestly love to see them interact with the 13. So that zone there, that OB is a low probability zone. Low probability. I would want to see them go sideways a bit as we wait for the 13 EMA on M15. Then maybe if we get a reaction, then we might consider a buy. But for now, we're still on the sidelines. Let's see what kind of candles they also give on that area there. So again, it's a game of waiting. It's all about the waiting. So let's see, let's see. Right. Let's see. Are we going to get pin bars? What are they going to give us? So you see, this is again the reason why you don't want to chase price. Because you chase price, you enter at the top there thinking that price will just shoot up and price starts to retrace with you. Now you start to panic. So it's always good to understand that if you're in an uptrend, price moves in waves, right? You'll be creating higher highs, you'll be creating higher lows. Then on some instances, you get price pushing higher highs, uh, higher lows, but then the lows sometimes they will come take out something here, then they will push up, create another higher high, maybe bounce off a zone here, push up, then maybe come back to that zone, the equal lows, still create a higher high. These are just variations of how an uptrend pushes. So you need to be aware of all these. Sometimes they'll even give 3 hits before the next higher high happens. So if you've got a bias from a higher time frame, if your bias is bullish, then this simply means that if you're on the 3 minutes or 5 minutes, you want to see an uptrend forming. So that's also part of what we'll be talking about on our 2025 intraday trading. This was what time was this? This was Friday before NFP. After this, we're anticipating a buy. After this, we agreed that pre-NFP session we don't trade because this actually hits a stop loss. After rather before NFP, we do not take any more trades. So pre-NFP session, no trades. So it can be pre-NFP session all day. So usually sometimes on Thursdays there is no trade. So pre-NFP session or pre-NFP day, there is no trades there. So this was just one of those examples. And so this is one of our rules now. Pre-NFP or day, no trades. Because price will just chop, 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 chop. Then this actually started expanding after NFP. This was German 30, German 40. So let's see what happens. We're still waiting to see if we're going to get an interaction with the 13 EMA. For now, that's our point of interest. You can see this zone failed to hold for now. Why? Because it's pretty much far away from the 13, as you can see. If we're going to get a reaction, then you get an M3 zone being broken, while its price is coming to a higher time frame zone. So the higher time frame zones, they are always strong. They are always stronger than the smaller time frame zones. So let's wait and see what the price wants to do here. Then for those who use BTMM, maybe let's take a look at how the BTMM is looking like. This is what this is GER30. We're going to go on German 40. This template is available for free. It's an MT4 template though. We just use it to sort of perfect our analysis, just to cross-check peaks. For example, peaks and quarter points. If you notice on the right-hand side, we've got these bold black zones. So here price actually bounced off 21,750 from Friday coming into today. So there's also a chance price can trade into 22,000. Remember, 22,000 is this is the buy I was taking on Friday before NFP. I was looking for price to get into this whole number zone. But pre-NFP, like I said, there was no push up. Price just ended up respecting this hesitation point here. For those who know quarters theory or quarter points, uh, the terminology I'm using here will be familiar, like your hesitation points, these whole number points, and the quarter points in between. This should be all familiar to you. So looking at it now, again, we're still maintaining a bullish bias until we get it close below the 13. That's when my bullish bias is going to fade. I would love to see price just extend at least into 22,000. But sometimes price will drop without hitting there. So remember, we want to trade what the market is showing us, not what we want to see. So this is M15. This was our Asian session. This is the London session, as you can see. And this was our pre-London entry. Right. So if we had entered pre-London, it was going to be a good trade. But then we sort of came back to the chest late. So let's see. M15 is sort of showing us something. So we're just going to come back here. We've got a nice inside bar here. If I get a close right now above, I'm entering a buy. Why? Because this is a point of interest. And why? Because M15 is showing me a pin buy. As much as I'm not on the 13, I think like it will actually be a valid candlestick pattern. So let's see if I can get it close right now. I'll be entering this trade like this. Let's see. So again, for confirmation, I would love to see, let's just see if I can be able to check the M1 here. You can also see prices moving from this lower hesitation point to this one above. So let's just see. These are just confluences lining up. We've got this doji on the M1 50 EMA. So that sort of gives us a bit of a hint as well where price can potentially get to. So based with what I'm seeing on the higher time frame and with that bias and this little confirmation here, I would say, yeah, if we can get a close above the 13 and above this zone, which we had earlier, considering that M15 is a pin bar at this point in time, I'll actually take a buy. Okay, so we've got a close buy stop, stop loss. One is to three will be enough. So we're going to enter with a buy stop. So why I'm saying buy stop is because remember M15 hasn't really touched the 13. So we could still move sideways a bit before we break this level. So we're going to attack this with a buy stop. Let's see what happens. So we're just going to set it up on my phone. Or I'll actually take the trade on one of my accounts on the PC as well, so that you guys see that um we actually execute the trades which we analyze. Okay, so we've got our buy stop ready. Stop loss. I've got a stop loss of about 28 points, which means my TP is to be what? 8, 16, 24, 3, 5. It has to be 50. Am I doing my maths correct? What is 8, 20? Oh, sorry, it's 28. It has to be 84. So if I can get 80 pips from this setup, I'll actually be happy. We're going to have a 1% risk. On this particular account. Okay, 1.8, 1.9. Right. All right, let's see what happens. So we've got a buy stop here. We're just waiting to see if prices are actually going to still expand to the top. So what we're going to do is I'm going to enter a trade here as well. Hey, this platform is a bit okay. Okay, I'm actually looking for trade panel, order panel, markets panel. Okay, there we go. DAX. It's a pity today I didn't even take a look at US30. I usually look at US30 as well. So you can see the reason we don't enter again at market price, you can already see how we are sort of pushing down here. But anyways, my analysis is still valid for that particular buy stop. So we're going to enter a pending. It's valid until it becomes invalid. So we're going to put a pending. We're going to put a risk. Okay, our risk is right here. 150. And for this particular setup, or rather for this particular prop firm, there is a cap of 2% on the profits. So it will just be a 1:2 trade if it does play out. Okay, buy stop. Then I'll let you know when the setup becomes valid and what I look for to say, okay, this entry is now invalid. So this buy stop is based off this particular pattern. this pattern forming here, an order block, the open session high, and this particular low and this high. So this was the stop loss. This is the buy stop. So if price comes down, let's say we come down and we create a fresh pattern here, it simply means now that this becomes invalid and I wait for something fresh to form if we are going to go up. Then if we're going to come down, M15 will be our guide to that. Of course, coming all the way from H1. So let's just see if as soon as this low is violated on M3, then the buy stop also becomes invalid. So again, this is why you need to exercise extreme patience. Yes, we're looking for buys, but we're not just buying because we've got this close. Remember, M15, we didn't have the 13 EMA retest. So we're still waiting to see if we're going to get that retest. Sometimes price will move fast, sometimes it will be slow. So let's see. So for now, we've got equal lows on the 3 minute. We also have equal lows on the 1 minute, which means the buy stop is still valid in my books. Still very valid in my books. So let's see what happens. We just also want to see how the current M15 closes in about 12 minutes. So just going to come back to M3. These are the equal lows I was talking about here. Slight tap just below, but still equal lows in my book. I've got a funny feeling maybe we want to come into this imbalance here. That's a very good point of interest there because there's no way price will just create an imbalance like that and leave it. At some point, we simply have to see price actually use that area. So let's wait and see what they do. I also don't think we've got I also okay, just getting distracted with my phone. We've got any news. Let me just check my investing.com, see what we have. Okay, no news events to show. So we don't have any three bull news events. So nothing on the fundamental side. Let's see how the stocks are performing. Okay, okay, some of them are green, some of them are red. All right, so I guess we just have to be patient. So to get a setup in the morning, just give yourself 2 hours on the charts. If you're trading London session like this, so depending if you come 1 hour pre, it's always good to come pre-London because if you know as you've noticed, some of the setups will start moving pre-London open, and you can catch your trade and actually be done by the time London session opens. Then from 9 up until 10, London session opens. Then maybe until 11 or 12. This is GMT plus 2. So if you can just stay 2 hours, that will sort of give you a clue. In those 2 hours, if there's no setup, it means London is quiet. We simply have to come back to the charts at New York session. So for now, it looks like let's see how this next candle. So for now, I'm now looking for price to come back and close above the 13 EMA before I even consider going long. So here we're considering a long based off this low and this candle, but we needed a break of this level to show that price will still actually start expanding to the top side. But we didn't get that. Price rather actually came below, showing that we're trickling down. So our buy stops are now invalid. Our buy stops are now invalid. If you check price should actually be below the stop loss which we had, which shows that our pending order is now invalid. So if your pending order becomes invalid, all you need to do is just close it. Your capital is protected. You're watching price. You're paying attention to the candles, seeing what the price wants to do. and you're trading accordingly. So let's just check on MT5. Okay, so on MT5, you see I had this point of interest on GER40, right? I had this imbalance from Friday with this zone. It looks like price has tapped that zone there. So if we are going to go bearish for the day, I would love to see price close below the 13. And I'm paying attention to today's open price. So if I can get it close, maybe a slight retracement. This simply means on M15, since we've created price open like this and it pushed up, I want to see them throw an impulsive move down, which is going to give me a close below the 13 and or the open price. Then I want to see them retrace back into the 13 on M15 for me to actually consider a sell. And this has to happen around today's open price. It also has to happen below the 13 EMA on H1. So that's my thought process basically, because I already have this zone marked from Friday. If we are to come above, then we might see GER40 continuing to set all-time highs. This is the current all-time high, I believe. So if we come above this zone, we might see this price continue to create an all-time high. So for now, it's all about patience. H1, we don't have anything showing us an entry. M15 is steady approaching the 13 EMA. And you can see with this doji right on a point of interest, it's very easy for this price to do this, right? Very easy. So this is what I'll be looking for if I'm going to sell. But if I'm going to buy, then I want to get my reaction off the 13, jump onto the 3-minute, look for a pattern. Then I'm going to aim for this high and aim for Friday's high as well. Then I just want to see if this price will come back above the zone so that I can add some more positions into the buys. Otherwise, if we come below here, I'll be looking for shorts. So again, it's a bit hard. If you're trading within the range of the previous day, your best setups will form near on or near the previous day's high, which is here, on or near the previous day's low. In this example, it's actually here. This week here, I feel like it's your Sunday price action, which there's usually a little bit of Sunday price action which goes on these markets. So I feel like these two zones at the top would be my utmost areas where we can get high probability setups forming. So anything in here, we need to exercise extreme caution. But if we get a reaction here, or a rejection rather, pin bar, doji, bullish engulfing, we can look forward for a buy. If we break, we want to see a huge impulsive move to actually show us that we are selling. A close below the 13 and the open price on the H1, then we can take shorts. So this would be my analysis for the day. If price does not do any of the things which I've just explained right now, it means there is no trade for me on GER40. Then maybe we might check it in the afternoon after a couple of more candles. So until the New York session, there's about, this is 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. We've got about 4 1-hour candles which are going to form after this current one. So after those 4 candles, we will have a bit of a clue of where price is actually going. So if your London session is not clean, protect your capital, wait until you get something cleaner, then you can execute your trade. So this session also, again, you see with the waiting, the session becomes a little bit longer from the perspective of someone who's watching this on YouTube, because people now their attention span is so short. People just want to see like 1-2 minutes, make money in 2 minutes. But the true story about trading is you actually have to wait. You actually have to wait. And you simply, you show up and you wait. Plan your trade and trade the plan. So let's see how H1 is going to close just now. It's about to close in 4 minutes. We've got a nice pin bar off a point of interest. So chances of a sell potentially happening if what we spoke about happened are still there. chances of a buy also happening are still there. So for now, let's just wait. Maybe I want to see how price. And again, I'm sure you have noticed this arrow was initially here. These arrows, they repaint. So somebody might think maybe these arrows are there. When you see an arrow, you just buy. You don't buy blindly. This is a BTMM template. If you want a more detailed version of this, you have to go to the original creator of this, and you can find him here on YouTube. Get his course. His name is Steve Mauro. If you just search this on YouTube, you'll get the original owner of this particular template and strategy. The way I explain it is to my own understanding. So if you want BTMM from me, I'll only explain it based to my own understanding. These arrows, they repaint. So currently we've also broken that imbalance which we had on the 3 minutes right here in between our opening our London open candle, which is these two black lines here. So again, these markings just give you a clue of where the dealer actually wants to take the price. So let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. M15, I believe H1 has closed as well with a wick to the top side in a point of interest from H1. So we had price. Okay, I don't want to have so many zones here. We've got this zone tapped here, which was within this imbalance on H1 as seen on MT5 in the week. But we do not have confirmation though of a sell yet. We don't have confirmation. So until we confirm, the bias will remain bullish. Until we come below the 13 EMA, our bias will remain bullish. So let's see. Let's see, we are back within the open candle range. I want you to notice how also this order block was used by price to break and actually retest into it. Scalpers might actually have caught something there, but our trading system, there is no entry there. There is definitely no entry. So let's see what happens. We're also bouncing off the 13 EMA on M15. So now we're paying attention to the 13 EMA on the 3 minute. Thought process. This is basically my thought process when I come to the charts. These are the things I look for. So if you're in a live trading session with me, these are the things we'll be discussing. So we'll be discussing the bigger picture, the market structure we have on the H1. We'll be discussing the bias we have on the daily. So for this particular day, we agree we do not have a clean bias whether we are bullish or bearish. Why? Because we are trading within Friday's range. So our direction for now is not clear. So that also means the dealer can use Monday as a stop hunt day, like for the whole week. So we simply need to understand which side is being trapped so that the next few trading days can become a little bit more cleaner or a little bit more understandable. So again, all we do is wait. We're starting to have a reaction on M1513 EMA, which is what we were waiting for the past 30 to 45 minutes, almost an hour actually. So let's see how price moves from this area. Nice reaction here. So if M15 rejects here, what do you want to see on the 3-minute for you to buy? What you want to see from this higher low. So now remember, this will be a higher low. What you want to see from that particular low is price push up, close above the 13 EMA on the 3-minute, retrace to the 13 EMA, give you another higher low, and a candlestick to actually enter. Pin bar, doji, bullish engulfing, or an inside bar. Once you get these candles forming here, you are in the trade. Mark 1:3, 50 to 100 points, depending with how price is moving. That will be the setup. So let's see. For now, H1 still has about 10 minutes. Sorry, M15 still has about 10 minutes until it closes. So let's wait and see. M5 is also still below the 13. M3 is still below. So what I'm simply saying is we want to get an impulsive move up, right? Close above the 13, maybe break this particular structure, then retrace again towards that 13, get entry candles here, then we execute our buy. If price plays out like that, this is what we call planning the trade. We're already planning that if we see price do this and they do this, we're going to do that. If we see price do this and do that, we're going to do that. You get it. So it's all about planning your trade based on what your price is showing you, and based on how you understand price as well. So for now, M15 is your best time frame to wait and just see what this price wants to do. Again, if we get it close below the 13 now, that might start feeding into my bearish, uh, possible bearish move to actually potentially happen. To our left, we've got this huge imbalance here on M15. So it's also something to just pay attention to. And you also want to remember this imbalance we have, it's been broken. So we want to see also how price will react to that zone, which is this imbalance here. So it's all a game of waiting, patience, waiting, patience, waiting. If there's nothing familiar, that means no trade. So I'm going to try to push this until 11:30. Then this video might then become a little bit too long. After that, I'm just going to end the video. Then it will be up to you to follow up and back test. Maybe after today's candlestick closes, you want to follow up and see how price actually moved from London session up until the day closed. Could we potentially have traded something? Did H1 show us any reason to take a trade? Did M3 confirm anything? Did M15 confirm anything? Did M3 give us an entry? That's all part of backtesting. So already I've given you a narrative of what I'm expecting and how I'm going to act if whatever I'm expecting plays out. So patience, patience, patience. And backtesting. Backtesting definitely helps. So you want to have a storyline, then backtest or check how price eventually played out. Possible play right now is we are bouncing off this imbalance. I would say, okay, let me check something. Let me check something. Possible play right now would be a sell, inverted hammer. I'll map it for you just now because I wanted to show you guys that based on my bias, if we are going to sell, my risk is here. My TP is, okay, how come I cannot see my TP? Okay, my TP is down somewhere there. My risk 150, 1:2. I'm already looking for a sell. It's based off price bouncing off this, bouncing off that imbalance there. So before I even get my confirmation, I would say this is a possible play, honestly. So I'm going to enter. Okay, what come you saying? Three. Okay, I think I've got it right. Yeah. So this will be my trade. This is my execution. I'm only executing it on this account so that you guys can see. I'm taking this trade because I already have a bias, which I have. Although H1 is not yet given me a close below the 13, as you can see, this is based off screen time. I know I'm reacting off a zone from a higher time frame, and I had an imbalance marked out in the opening days candles, like everything I was explaining basically. So this makes this my point of interest. So since my price is below, I'm getting this rejection, pin bar, inside bar, all happening on the 13 EMA. I would be happy with going short on this trade. So my entry on my account is actually here. So from there to here, it's about 26 points. I usually don't take trades which don't offer me 50 points. So my target would be somewhere here for me to actually get 50 points. So if you see yourself mapping out a trade and it's playing out with before it even gets 50 points, just know there's no range, there's no volume in the market. And if there's no volume, it's always good to also go with less risk. But this would be a good setup. If price can get as low as this area, that would be perfect. That would definitely be perfect. But in terms of entering, having a systematic approach to your trading, this is a systematic approach. So you're waiting for certain criteria to line up. Then soon as you get your confluence is lining up based on your trading plan, soon as they line up, you trade your plan. So basically, this is it. So price can extend all the way down. The best entry would have been at a close here, but my entry was a bit late. So maybe let me just show it like this so that it makes sense. So my 1, 2, 3 will actually be where I actually want to get, which is the 50-point mark, as you can see. So this is my entry. But on that particular broker, you notice it's a 1:2. I think I mapped out a 1:2. Is because on this particular prop firm, the maximum TP on this account is 2%. Once you hit 2%, they'll automatically close the trades for you. So I might as well just do it for myself. So let's just cross check on this particular running trade that our TP is on the 2%. Confirm. So I just slightly adjusted it. So if you see the TP is lying on the lows of today, right? So on those lows of the day, on this particular trading view, the 1:2 hit somewhere there. Right. So the only thing we can do again, like I said, is wait. Once we move halfway to take profit, which will be somewhere around here. Let me set an alert. We are going to move stop loss to entry or scale out half the position. So this is just an alert we have. So let's just mark this copy. I wonder if it's going to allow me to paste. I'm not sure if it allows me to paste here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so move GER40 stop loss to entry and scale out half the position if we get here. So if you are not on the charts, you simply get an alert. That's why we have this trading view. So our trade is in motion. You guys saw me do the entry based on my analysis. I'm not only selling. Why? Because I figured out I'm bouncing off a high time frame POI, point of interest. So all we have to do now is wait. Let's see if our price is going to play out. You can see that's the trade running. So that's a live chart execution. If you're trading live trading sessions with me, this is exactly how we trade. So whenever I enter, I'm sharing my screen like this, and you can simply execute your trade. So let's see how far this price is going to push. Is it going to go down? Is it going to take us out? All that we only have to find out is the price is playing out. So this is just making my chart ugly. I'll just remove it and I'll leave an alert. Then let's see what happens. All right, since I said I'm going to stream until 11:30, uh I would have loved to leave this just running so that you guys see how price paints or print out, whether it goes to stop loss or it goes to TP. But I'll leave this as your assignment for today. If you're watching this, no matter what time you're watching it, you're just going to scroll to German 30 or German 40. Just go to the 15-minute or your 3-minute or whatever time frame. Just see how it played out. Because I don't want to make this video so long. But anyways, let me just wait for these. What's the time now? 11:24. Right, I'm just going to wait until 11:30. Then after 11:30, I'm going to finish this recording. Then if depending with where price will be, it will be up to you to follow up to see how price played out. Based on my narration, then you'll figure out whether whatever I was talking about um is information you can use or it's information you can ignore. That will be simply up to you. So let me leave it up until 11:30. If I leave it here, I think the screen might turn black because I actually want to multitask. So let me rather do this. TMM template, how to install. Going to do this. Okay, leave it running in the background. This allows the screen just not to turn black. Okay, so I'll leave it for you guys. If you watch until the end, well done. So I'll just try to leave it running as much as I can while I'm doing some other things. Then I'll check it in a couple of minutes. Then we'll see. By then, when I come back onto the screen, I'll then close off the chat. So I think whatever I had to speak about on this setup, I already spoke about. The only thing we can do now is wait to see if the setup will actually play out or not. So thank you so much if you watched until this until the end or until whenever I finish or until now. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, you can just continue watching. Let's see how this trade plays out. All right, guys. So I don't want this video to be too long. So this is our current trade. So what I'm just going to do for now is let's see if I can be able. I actually wanted to move our stop loss right to the entry. Okay, $7 confirm. All right, so at least we know it's a break-even trade. If they decide to push up now and take us out at entry, I feel like that's still okay. If they get back to the 50, then they'll take us out. That's still fine. We almost got to halfway, but we didn't. And yeah, I'm just going to stay on the cautious side. Let's see, maybe they'll actually take us out now while at least we are on this session. So no one took a loss here. Break-even trade, no volume in the markets at the moment. Price can still drop, however, but we're just going to be on the safe side because our H1 still hasn't given us a close below the 13. So I'll just try to stay on the safe side. And I hope this video helped somebody in terms of patience and just managing your running trade. If you watched until the end, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Good trading.